Alright guys, so we're back with another video. As you guys can see here, this is the math test section 3, no calculator. And we're back with another video. You guys can see right here, this is just the small reference sheet that they give you. And now let's just hop into the first question. So for our first question, they're asking, which of the following is equal to m to the 5th 5/2 for all values of m? So as you guys know, x to the a over b is equal to x to the a root b. So in this case, m to the 5/2 is equal to the m to the 5th, right? X to the a, root b. So which is root 2. And you guys know root 2 is just the square root of 2. So that's just the square root of m to the 5th. Meaning our answer is going to be A. Alright, so let's move on to the second question. So a seal coating company will seal D driveways with the same size and shape in a subdivision using a specific type of sealing. The company's fees can be calculated by the expression DCIW, where D is the number of driveways, C is a constant, and units in dollars per square meter. I is the length, L is the length of each driveway in meters, and W is the width of each driveway in meters. Wow. Alright, if the homeowner association wants the company to use a less expensive type of sealing, which of the following factors is the expression would change? So as you guys know, so what does D represent? D represents the, alright, so D is the number of driveways, C is the sealant. So C determines the cost of the square meters. So if the homeowner wants it to be less expensive, then C would have to be altered. That means our answer is going to be D, C. Alright, let's moving on. Question 3. If 4x is equal to 20, which of the following is the value of 12x minus 4? So 4x is equal to 20, then if you multiply both sides by 3 times 3 on both sides, 12x is equal to 20 times 3, which is 60. And you already know 12x, 60. So what's 60 minus 4? That's equal to 56. That means our answer is going to be C. Moving on, question 4. If 2 over z is equal to 8 over z plus 42, what is the value of z over 2? So in this case, there are no shortcuts, right? 2 over z is equal to 8 over z plus 42. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cross multiply. So 8 times z is 8z is equal to 2 times z plus 2, which is, no, z plus 42, which is 2z plus 42 times 2 is 84. Subtract 2z on both sides, give me 6z is equal to 84. Divide both sides by 6, giving me z is equal to 4 divided by 6, that's 14, right? So z is equal to 14. What is the value of z over 2? So what's 14 over 2? That's equal to 7. That means our answer is going to be B. Moving on. Question 5. If Rs is a solution to the system of equation above, what is the value of R minus S? So this question is really easy. 3R minus 5S is equal to 17. Try to discern my 5's and S's. They kind of look the same. But 5R minus 3S is equal to negative 7. Now the first step we're going to do is we're going to add the equations. You're going to see why. If we add the equations, what's 3R plus 5R? That's 8R. 5S plus negative 5S plus negative 3S is just negative 8S is equal to negative 17 plus negative 7 is negative 24. And now if we divide both sides by 8, that'll give us R minus S is equal to negative 3. They're asking for the value of R minus S, which we have right here. And our answer is negative 3. B. Moving on. Question 6. The number of scripted shows produced by a streaming service between 2012 and 2013 is triple the amount of scripted shows the service produced between 2009 and 2010. If 24 scripted shows were produced between 2012 and 2013, and S shows were produced between 2009 and 2010, which of the following equations is true? Whew, I hate reading such a long paragraph. Question, but alright, so for 2012 to 2013 is triple the amount 2009 to 2010. So 24 were printed in 2012 and 2013. So that means from 2009 to 2010, it would be a third of 24, which is 8. So which ones of the following represents S as 8? So S represents 2009 to 2010, right? And that's 8. So 3S is equal to 24. 3 times 8 is 24. Boom, that's going to be our answer. Alright, so now we're looking at question 7. The line y is equal to cx minus 2, where c is a constant, is graphed in the xy plane. If a line contains the point mn, where m is not equal to 0 and n is not equal to 0, which is the slope of the line in terms of n and m and n. So m and n are the points, right? M in this case is going to be the x coordinate and n is the y coordinate. So in this case, as I just said, n is equal to y. So n is equal to cx, right, is equal to c times x value, which is m, cm minus 2. So they're asking for what is the value of the slope. The slope in this case is going to be c. So we have to isolate c given this equation right here. Add 2 on both sides, giving us n plus 2 is equal to c over m. Divide both sides by m, giving us n plus 2 over m is equal to c. We have our slope right here, which is n plus 2 over m, giving us an answer of D. Alright, question 8. In the system of equation above, c is a constant and x and y are variables. For what value of c will the system of equations have no solution? So we have 3x minus 2y is equal to 5, and cx minus 7y is equal to 12. So for the system of equations to have no solution, these two equations must be equal, right? In this case, if we multiply the top equation by 3.5, right, because 2 times 3.5 is equal to 7, so multiply this by 3.5, that'll give us 10.5x is minus 7y is equal to 5, and cx minus 7y is equal to 12. I just brought down this equation right here. And now, these equations are equal, so this has to be equal as well. Because in this case, 5 can't equal to 12, right? So that's why we have to set this equation equal for it to have no solution. So cx is equal to 10.5x. And now we divide both sides by x. That just cancels out the x. So c is equal to 10.5. So which ones of the following is equal to 10.5? That's 21 over 2. Meaning our answer is going to be D. Alright, question 9. The function p is defined by a polynomial. Some values of x and p of x are shown in the table above. Which of the following must be a factor of p of x? So in order for something to be a factor of p of x, when you plug that into the equation, so when you plug in some value for the x, the y has to equal to 0 in order for it to be a factor. So if we look over here, when you plug in a number, whatever these numbers are, which ones of the following results in 0? This right here. So when x is equal to 1. So when x is equal to 1, which ones of the following equations is equal to 0? 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So that means our answer is going to be A. Right, as you guys can see here, 1 minus 2 is equal to negative 1, which is not equal to 0. In this case, 1 minus negative 3 is also not equal to 0. 1 minus 4 is not equal to 0. That gives us an answer of A. Alright, moving on. Question 10. In the quadratic equation above, A is a non-zero constant. The graph of the equation in the xy plane is a parabola with vertex SF. Which of the following is equal to t? ST. Which of the following is equal to t? So the vertex is ST, right? When you factor this out, this equation right here, that gives us A times x squared minus 2x, plus 2x minus 15, right? If we complete the square, that gives us A times x. How do you complete the square? You just x, right, plus divide this by 1, which is 1, divide this by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, squared. And now, because we have squared, what do we add to this? We just add, in this case, 1 minus 16. So in this case, it's A times negative 16. So our vertex is going to be negative 1 and negative 16. In this case, negative 16 is our value of t. That means our answer is going to be D. Question 11. In the xy plane, the parabola of the equation x minus 9 squared intersects the graph with the equation y is equal to 36 at the 2 points f and g. What is the length of fg? So x minus 9 squared is equal to 36. We can set that equation, right, because the two graphs intersect with each other. And now we just square root both sides. That gives us x minus 9 is equal to 6. But wait, something squared also equals 36. X minus 9 can also equal to negative 6. Because negative 6 squared is also 36. Now we add 9 on both sides. That gives us x is equal to 15 this equation, we add 9 on both sides as well, giving us x is equal to 3. And now, what is the length of FG? So what is the length of 3 to 15? That's 12. That means our answer is going to be B. Alright, question 12. In the equation above, 3 lines intersect at a point in a circle. If L plus M is equal to N plus O. Alright, so L plus M is equal to, this is equal to N plus O. Right here, which of the following must be true? I is equal to N. Well, I is equal to N, that's definitely not true. That must not be true because there's nothing that says these are equal. So, yeah, these are actually L is equal to N. That might be true because if these two are equal, then these are equal as well because this is a diameter. So Q is equal to P, right? Q is equal to P, therefore R is equal to N because these are, no, these are not vertical angles. So one is not true. M is equal to Q. That is also definitely not true. But P is equal to Q. I just wrote this right here, so that means 3 is right. And now, if 3 is right, that means that 2 also has to be right, meaning our answer is going to be C. Alright, moving on. Question 13. What are the solutions to 2x squared plus 12x plus 8 is equal to 0? So the first thing we can do is divide the whole equation by 2, giving us x squared plus 6x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now let's just use the quadratic equation. Negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. In this case, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 6, c is equal to 4. Let's plug it in. So that's equal to negative 6 plus minus square root of negative 6 squared, 6 squared, which is 36, minus 4ac, 4 minus 4 times 4 times 1, which is 16 times 1, which is 16, over 2a, which is just 2. In this case, this is simplified to negative 6 plus minus square root of 36 minus 16 is 20 over 2. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3 plus minus root 20. Root 20 can be simplified to 2 root 5. 2 divided by 2, right? This can be simplified to 2 root 5. 2 divided by 2 is root 5. That means our answer is negative 3 plus minus 5, giving us an answer of B. Alright, question 14. The equation above shows the temperature F measured in degrees Fahrenheit related to the temperature D measured in Fahrenheit decile. Based on the equation, which of the following must be true? So, looking at this equation, let's look at number 1. A temperature increase at 5/6 degrees Fahrenheit is equivalent to the temperature increase of 1 degree decile. So, if it increases 1 degree Fahrenheit, that means that it also increases by 5/6, right? Because if you add 1, then this increases by 5/6. So 1 is definitely correct. And looking at the answer choices, if 1 is correct, only D has 1 in it. So that means our answer is going to be D. We don't even have to try 2 or 3 because this is the only answer choice where 1 is correct, right? This is 2 only, 3 only, 2 and 3 only. Well, D is our answer right away. Alright, moving on. Question 15. The equation 3y squared plus 43y minus 25 over ky minus 3 is equal to, this right here, is true for all values of y is not equal to 3 over k, where k is a constant. What is the value of k? So as you guys can see right here, something divided by 36 has to equal to negative 9y, right? Well, in this case, 4 is our answer. How do I, actually, it's going to be negative 4. How do I know? Because 36 divided by negative 4, actually, let's just look here. 36y squared divided by negative 4y is equal to negative 9y. Boom, negative 9y right here. That means our answer is going to be C. Alright, we're done with the multiple choice. Let's move on to the short answered. So 16, if 9 over 10z minus 7 over 10z is equal to 1/3 plus 7 over 15, what is the value of z? So let's just combine like terms. 9 minus 7 is 2, so that's 2 over 10z is equal to, let's add this. So 1/3 is equal to 5 over 15 plus 7 over 15, right? So 5 over 15 plus 7 over 15 is 12 over 15. So that gives us 2 over 10z is equal to 12 over 15. Now we multiply both sides by 10 over 2. And that will give us z is equal to 120 over 30, which can be simplified to 4. That means our answer is going to be 4. All right, moving on. Question 17. In triangle LMN, the measure of angle M is 90. LN is equal to 26. MN is equal to 24. Triangle OPQ is similar to triangle LMN, where each side of triangle OPQ is 1/5 the length of the corresponding side of triangle LMN, and vertices OPQ correspond to vertices LMN, respectively. What is the value of cos 0? So, all right, let's draw the first triangle LMN, where the measure of M is 90. So, LMN, M is a 90-degree angle, and triangle OPQ. OPQ is corresponding, right? So, O corresponds with L, P corresponds with M, and Q corresponds with N. As you can see, OL, PM, QN. And this angle P is a right angle. So if LN is equal to 26, so the hypotenuse is 26, and MN is equal to 24. MN, no, that's this right here. And so that means that this angle right here, LM, do we have to calculate that? Actually, they're asking us to calculate cos of O. Cos of O, SOHCAHTOA, right? SOHCAHTOA. Cos is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So in this case, it's adjacent x over hypotenuse y. Okay? X, Y, Z. Cos is equal to x over y. So in this case, we just have to calculate x over y, which is the same as LM over LN, because they're corresponding and they're similar triangles. So let's find the measure of LM. So we just use the Pythagorean theorem. I'll just call this x. So x squared plus 24 squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared, 26 squared. In this case, x squared plus 24 squared, which is 576, is equal to 26 squared, which is, give me a second on that, which is 676. 676 minus 576 on both sides, giving us x squared is equal to 100, square root of both sides, x is equal to 10. So the measure of LM is 10. And because the triangles are similar, x over y is equal to 10 over 26. Right, 10 over 26 can be simplified to 5 over 13, meaning our answer is just going to be 5 over 13 for the value of cos of O. All right, we have another long reading. So at a bakery, each pecan braid has 30 more milligrams of sodium than each chocolate pastry. If 3 pecan braids and 4 chocolate pastries have a total of 1,840 milligrams of sodium, how many milligrams of sodium does a pecan braid have? So if each pecan braid has 30 more, so I'll say the pecan braid is P is equal to a chocolate pastry, which is C plus 30, because it has 30 more. If 3 pecan braids, so 3P plus 4 chocolates is equal to 1840. Right, now let's just solve for pecan, which is P. So I could just plug in the value of C for this. Actually, no, I'll just subtract 30 on both sides. That'll give me P minus 30 is equal to C. Right, so we can just solve directly for pecan. So in this case, we just plug in the value of C. Yeah, so C is equal to P minus 30. So 3P plus 4 times P minus 30 is equal to 1840. That gives me 3P plus, let's distribute, 4P minus 120 is equal to 1840. Let's combine like terms. 7P is equal to, I'll just add, right, 3P plus 4P is equal to 7P. And I'll add 120 on both sides. That'll give me 1960. 1960. Divide both sides by 7. That'll give me P is equal to 280. And that's our answer. 280 milligrams of sodium per pecan braid. 280. That's our answer. All right, I kind of invaded question 19, but it doesn't matter. If a is greater than 0, what is one possible solution to the equation above? So we have a to the third times a squared minus 25 is equal to negative 144a. Now, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to distribute. If I distribute a times a to the third times a to the second is a to the fifth. You just add 3 plus 2 minus 25 a to the third is equal to negative 144a. And now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 144a on both sides, giving me a to the fifth minus 25a to the third plus 144a is equal to 0. And now we could just solve for the value of 0. For the value of a. We distribute a on both sides. We distribute a, giving us a to the fourth minus 25a to the second plus 144 is equal to 0. A is equal to 0, right? So we could just take out this because a is greater than 0. And now our next step is going to be, we're going to probably try to factor this. How can we factor this? Factor this into a squared, and what are the factors of 144? They're going to be, 144 can be factored into 144, 272, 3, actually let's try 4, we can try 12, divide this by 2, that gives us 6, 24, that's not it. We can also try 8, 18, that's close but not it. What else is there? There's also 9, 16, and 9, 16 works. So minus 9, minus 16. And now we could factor all of these right into a plus 3 times a minus 3 times a plus 4 times a minus 4. This is the difference of squares. You guys can see that. So it means the values of a can be 3 or 4. Because 3 or 4 is greater than greater than 0, given these two equations right here. So we can, one possible value is 3 or 4, but you just write down 3. You can choose 3 or 4 to write in your answer. Alright, last question of the day. So two isosceles triangles are shown above, right? These two, let me try to draw that if you guys can't see that. If 180 minus f is equal to 2g and g is equal to 65, what is the value of h? So there's a line right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. So h represents this right here. And now the value of h. So g is equal to 65. And because these two are equal, these two are isosceles, and 180 minus f is equal to 2g. So 180 minus f is equal to 2g, which is 130, right? 65 times 2 is 130. You could subtract 180 on both sides. Gives us negative f is equal to negative 50 by both sides by negative 1, giving us f is equal to 50. So f is equal to 50, and because we have two isosceles triangles, these two angles are equal, as well as these two angles. Alright, and now 180 minus 65 is 115. Right, so that means this angle right here is 115 divided by 2, giving us, giving us 57.5. Alright, that's 57.5, I think. Yeah, 57.5. So this angle right here is 57.5. Well, on the other hand, this angle right here is 180 minus 50 divided by 2, which is 130, divided by 2, which is 65. And now h is right here. So h is supplementary to this angle right here. So that's only 180 minus 65, which gives us 120, 115. That means the value of h is 115. So that's your answer, 115. And that concludes our whole test, where you finished all the questions I gave you. I tried to give you the best explanation I can. And this is part 3 of the math test calculator. I think this is test 6, right, of this book right here. Yeah, so if you guys want to check out this book, you guys can find this on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. And just check it out. If you guys need more help, just DM me, check out my TikTok, and watch all my other YouTube videos, and you guys will be set.